A people without knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. A quote from Marcus Garvey. Surely oppression makes a wise man mad, and a gift destroys the heart. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger rests in the bosom of fools. Ecclesiastes 7 verses 7 to 9. This video is to address all of Israel specifically. All those across the world who are awake and who shall be awakened in Yah's appointed time. Stop. I repeat, stop loving your oppressors. Stop loving Africa. That is not your homeland. It is not the land of the creation, nor is it the land given to Shem and his seed. Because of all the wickedness and all the lies that are in this world, and the years of oppression that Yasharel has faced due to our ancestors and our own disobedience, some of us have become mad and foolish, unable to read, unable to research, unable to pray to Yah for truth by his spirit. We let every manner of doctrine try and fit us in a box as if the God, the Elohim that we serve, can be fit into a box. What these so-called white people have done to you in this short and recent years has caused you to forget who oppressed you since the beginning of the inception of Yasharel as a nation. When you think deeply and examine life and history, it has been people of all levels of melanin that have oppressed us, especially that of the darker skin tone. This is why I shall repeat throughout this video. Stop loving Africa. We all should know by now that the world isn't divided by skin color, but rather by tribes and tongues. There is only 3 types of people in this world: the sons of Shem, the sons of Ham, and the sons of Japheth. Then you can even divide it up more between the three sons of Noah into their sons. But there's no need to go that far in regarding this topic. I understand that many also have this firm affinity to Africa, especially those of us in the West, due to the fact that many believe that all 12 tribes of Yasharel of Israel ended up in Africa after the second temple was burned and the persecution from Rome. But that just isn't 100% true. Indeed, the southern kingdom of Yehuda, which includes the tribe of Yehuda, the tribe of Benjamin, and some of the Levites, as well as a few of those who are considered the northern 10 tribes, did end up in Africa. History affirms that. But history, and mainly the Bible, does not affirm that the majority and all of the northern kingdom of Yasharel entered into Africa. This can especially be understood when reading 2 Kings 17, as well as 2nd Ezra or 4th Ezra 13, and Ezekiel chapter 37. In Ezekiel chapter 37, Yah prophesies unto the people by Ezekiel, saying that the northern tribes and the southern tribes will not, I repeat, will not be one with another until the end of times, when King Yahusha himself brings us together as one again. We also must understand that there has been so many who have imitated and stolen our heritage much sooner than the so-called Jews of today. People such as those who many revere, such as the Maccabees. This can be understood using 2 Kings 17 in connection to what is written in the Maccabees, as well as what is written in history, such as the War Scroll, which is a portion of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Those Maccabees came from the northern part of the land of Israel. So how then, if there was no bloodline Israel in the northern land of Israel, How can those Maccabees then be Israel if there's none in that land at that time? Let me repeat that for you. How can the Maccabees, who came from the northern part of Israel, how can they be true bloodline Israel if none of them, none of bloodline Israel, remained in that northern land of Israel at the time of the Maccabees? That just doesn't make any sense. This is how the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and even more confusion, entered into the house of Yah. This is why I repeat, stop loving Africa. Stop loving your oppressors. Stop loving those who simply look like you because they have the same melanin count as you. You are all become fools as those that are at the top, and those demons and their realm laugh and scoff at you because of your foolish ways and your lack of understanding and your lack of desire to even ask Yah for all truth and the fullness thereof. But again, this isn't a deep study on those topics. Go and research all this information yourself. This is just a warning from Yahuwah. Stop loving your oppressors. Start to love Yah and those who are trying to follow the way, the truth, and the light, despite their melanin count, despite their color, despite their level of understanding at that time. Stop loving your oppressors. Start loving Yah and those who are for him and are trying to seek him with all of their being. As I continue, let's look at this map that was created by a research group called the God Culture, using the directions specifically written down in the Book of Jubilees, chapter 8. And it's funny because there's a lot of talk about the Apocrypha and the lost books, yet I really don't hear commonly people using and quoting from Genesis' second witness, which is the Book of Jubilees, which is the true book of Yashar, the book that Joshua and Samuel mentions. But this ain't about that. This ain't about that, and this is not a study about that either. But as you can see from this map, we see when you from this map and when you read for yourself and study for yourself, Shem, who was the favorite of Noah, received the largest portion of the earth, and Africa just so happens to not be a part of it. Now, moving to the point that Yahuwah made man from the ground of Africa is also a false teaching and an ideology taught by those trying to gatekeep the truth. If we refer back to Jubilees, specifically chapter 8, verses 18 to 19, which states that Noah rejoices in the fact that Yahuwah blessed the portion of Shem's inheritance, with the Holy of Holies being the Garden of Eden, being included in Shem's portion of the earth, which he received. When we read in Genesis, it says that Adam was created and then brought into the Garden of Eden. We also know that the entire geography of the world was a little bit different pre-flood, and it was changed post-flood. So now, I propose these questions to you. Would sea creatures die due to a flood? Or would mainly all the land creatures die? So then now, I ask you, wouldn't the areas that have the most marine biodiversity be the area in which creation began? Think about that. Now, when we research this topic, the term coral triangle appears. And according to the oceanexplorer.noaa.gov, it states that the coral triangle is the most diverse and biologically complex marine ecosystem on the planet. It spans across parts of Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Papua New Guinea, the Solomon Islands, and Timor-Leste. With the Philippines being the epicenter for all of the marine biodiversity. According to oneocean.org, the Philippines forms an ocean region that has long been recognized as the world's center of marine biodiversity. With the Malay Archipelago, Papua New Guinea, and Australia, the country forms the Coral Triangle, so called because of the abundance of coral reef life. So it means that the Philippines is the center of the marine biodiversity. So with that being said, when you research more about the history about the Philippines, you tend to notice that there's a lot of Hebrew roots and connections, even in regards to the Bible, even it being the land of gold that Solomon created his entire navy for. That same land of gold from Genesis 2:11 and 12, which states that there was gold in that land, and the gold of that land is good. And that's good based on Yahuwah's standards. Even the Tagalog language, or the Tagalog, I'm not too sure. Like, I don't want to make anyone feel bad who speak that language. I'm not perfect. But even that language has so many roots in Hebrew, being that Hebrew is a language of creation. Even some mountains that hasn't been changed after King Philip's conquest of the land bear some Hebraic origins, such as Mount Kabuya, meaning in Hebrew the great house of Yah. And at the foot of Mount Pulag is a cave named Kabayan, or in Hebrew Chabayan, Chabaya, meaning Yah has hidden. I bring all this up to show you that if you want a place to desire, a place to love, a place to pray for the Philippines. For many scriptures throughout the prophets and even Messiah himself has referred to the Philippines in end times prophecy, as they refer to it as the isles afar off, or even the isles to the far east. Remember, the Philippines is literally a location of a bunch of islands, over like 1,000 islands if I'm not mistaken. And each of those islands have a name. And just like how they have a name in today's time, they would have each a name in the times of Messiah and the times of the prophets, and from all the way from the beginning of creation. And I need you all to understand that land, the Philippines, is surely going to serve an importance to us as the children of Yasharel, especially as the days come, as we wait for our redemption. So I ask all of you, hold fast, stay strong in relying upon Yahuwah and his word and his son Yahusha. And again, pray about all things. Pray about all that I've said here. And do your research yourself with Yahuwah leading you in your research. Luke 11:31 says, "The queen of the south shall rise up in judgment with the men of this generation and condemn them. For she came from the utmost parts of the earth to hear the wisdom of Solomon. And behold, a greater than Solomon is here." Isaiah 66:19-20 says, "And I will set a sign among them, and I will send those that escape of them unto the nations, to Tarshish, to Pul, to Lud, that draw the bow, to Tubal and Yavan, to the isles afar off, that have not heard of my fame, neither have seen my glory. They shall declare my glory among the Gentiles, and they shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto Yahuwah out of all nations, upon horses, and in chariots, and in litters, upon mules, upon swift beasts, to my holy mountain, Jerusalem, says Yahuwah. As the children of Yasharel of Israel bring an offering in a clean vessel unto the house of Yahuwah." Be blessed, family. Be blessed, brethren. Remember, pray without ceasing. Pray without ceasing. Pray without ceasing. And faint not. Look up, for your redemption is nigh at hand. I love you. Be blessed. Hallelujah.